Let's see here. See here if we can. So, maybe I should take that off. Maybe we should change the. Oh well. See if we can get some camera here. I need to turn it around here. So yeah, I'm a little naked here. Sorry for that. The fat guy is a little naked. So this is well, I don't know if I could see the. Well, this is not that terrible on the front breast here. Is pretty much that's not too bad. You know, I put some oregano on it a few days ago. Also put some other things on it, but I think it was the oregano that might actually have sorted a little out. So I was also a little down here, but it's at least on this left side. It's kind of it's hurtful. So I don't know. I haven't seen anything on the stomach side in regards to it, but it was a little. I guess it might have stopped. I put oregano oil down under my breast as well because it was a little reddish, and I thought maybe it's going to bloom out a little under the breast and all that. I did actually see some, but anyway, so I put some oregano underneath it. I don't know if it actually stopped it, but I tried 3 different things on the front because the front I can easily get to, pretty much, and that was the, it's coming underneath here, and move over here. So you have, it's like, let's see if we can have a little look here. Here we have some more of it. Yep, there we go. It's yeah. So that's and it continues. It's a little hard to further get backward, but so there we go. It's pretty hurtful, and it's I don't know how far I can get. I can't get any further, but it begins at the spine, and it's only one side. Pretty much we have here, and I can feel the stomach here is kind of it's hurtful as well. It has been, what do you call it? Yeah, but it hasn't there hasn't been anything that has bloomed out. Apparently the blooming out here apparently is what's going on here? Apparently it stopped the it's typical with the mobile phone here. I'll just so many issues with things. So, well, that's as far as I can see. That's Shingles, Hellfire. It's pretty hurtful. It just continues and continues. And I thought it was my back that was the issue because I also have back pains and all that. So I thought it was just the back pain not this Friday, but the last Friday. I had this for. At least I've been feeling it for 7. I will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This would be the 10th day that I've been feeling pain. I began in the back, and I just thought it was my back issues and all that was playing up here and all that. And yeah, I'm fat. Sorry, that's just wanted to show the shingles here, and I need to lose some weight, that's for sure. But in any case, everything has been pretty much gone downhill these last 3 years with all the nonsense of insanity of bullshit. Oh, we're going to protect your health. Oh yeah, yeah. So that's why just downward on the government and the medical mafia. Absolutely, they're working for the Satan. They're working for the Antichrist. And thereby they're working against the people. They're killing them, they're hurting them, and they're just, stay indoors and blah, blah, blah. Don't exercise in regards of, we're closing all the exercise places down because, of course we know that the Danish people, and probably a lot more in the Western world, I guess we just do so much exercise, right? So let's just all the insanity, and we're going to get more the next 7 years. I guess in regards to the next 7 years. I don't know how long, in regards of, biblical prophecy is moving pretty quickly these days. So the AI nonsense, the, artificial intelligence, the Antichrist, Roman kingdom, empire, pretty much is, being pushed very harshly these days. They pretty much have fully world control, or very, very, very close to totally world control. Now they're going to push this so-called health passport, which they're going to. Oh. So anyway, I've been sleeping on the floor. I just took my cot and moved it to the left, although I don't know how much that actually helped on anything. I found out if I'm sleeping on the side of the thing here, it helps in regards of pain. So it's like, but you can't sleep on that side all the time, of course. You have, you usually move from one side to another. I'm a side sleeper. So it's like every time I need to move to the other side, I'm like, oh no, it's like, So, of course, you have to, you can't lay on one side all the time. So, but yeah, it's painful. It's painful. That's for sure. It's painful. Now, of course, always can get worse. That's the thing. When you think it can't get worse, oh yeah, well, you learn throughout. I guess the camera's down there. I guess in regards of pain, you pretty much learn that it can always get worse. When you think it can't get worse, oh yeah, it can. I should look into the camera, not into the screen. Sorry about that. It's just. Anyway, so I don't know if I can. I can probably show the back in the mirror. Yeah. That will be a little. And I have pretty much good. So anyway, that will be some more skin. Sorry about that. So that's a pretty good. Okay, let's see here if we can. I don't know if we can, maybe in the mirror. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. So this is how it looks, right? You have the front here. So that's the front here, and then we'll just see if we can turn around here. That's a little hard. We have a little more. Get it. Well, so it just pretty much begins at the back, and that's my. And it. Well, and then it moves from the back. Just incredible. Let's see if we can. I can't really do. Can I do more? How much is that? That's pretty much. That should be all of it. So you can pretty much. That's the. It starts in the back. And then moves around. So. Yeah, that's my fat body, and it's pretty much on only one side. So it moves around, and it just goes there. And there we go to the front here, which is pretty much the end of, well, at least on the outer surface, it's the end. It does seem like it has gone down to the one side of the stomach as well, but I don't see anything, and the redness that was there just doesn't seem to, the breast doesn't really seem to be there anymore. So maybe the oregano sorted that out, although I haven't gotten any more oregano. I just took the, totally powerful oregano. Also tried some tea tree oil, but I don't think that actually did much. Also some apple vinegar, but I think it was the oregano that, if anything, maybe stopped the progress on the front. At least now there's like sores on them at the moment. I think it might have stopped the progress, but it's hard to say. Maybe not, but I just put directly oregano on it, and I only put it on the front because I didn't have so much, sadly, and it's pretty much empty now, and So I tried some of this other kind of oil as well on some of the places and all that. But anyway, whatever. But of course, it's only the outside surface. But of course, the outside surface is the thing that apparently fixes this out, so other can get infected with this virus, as they call it. Uh, and it's hard to figure out things these days with all the propaganda. So, but yeah, it's pretty hurtful. The thing is, even if it comes to the surface, that's only the surface area of it. Apparently, it goes through the nerves, and it can apparently destroy your nerves, which not good. It's painful. It's really painful. I saw one page that talked about it was like, popping out a child. But of course, there can be different levels of pain. Apparently, the older you are, the greater the risk of it being painful, apparently. As I understand. Whatever the case, it's pretty painful. And it just continues and continues. Of course, pain is nothing new in regards of. So, but yeah, it's just one more painful thing to the rest of the things. So apparently there can be different reasons why it jumps out. It can be in regards to stress, and of course these last 3 years has been pretty stressful. It can also be in regards to the immune system that is lowered, which could also be the case. Or apparently you can, if you make a bump or something like that, apparently it can start it out. So I don't know how fast things moves from the beginning, from the activation of the virus to it beginning to hurt. But I was moving my two big bags, and that of course could have made something in regards to my back, of course. But I don't know. I don't know in regards of how from when the pain, from the pain that I, how fast does it go, right? In regards of, from springing forward to actually fixing some kind of symptom. So yeah, it's painful. It's really painful, and that's how it is, I guess. That's as far as I can see. That's my diagnose in regards to what it is. I figured out what it was like yesterday, I think. Although I think I had before that. I think a couple. No, wait. Let's see. I think I became certain of it. No. Friday. I think it was Friday that I became certain of it. Oh yeah. So like Thursday was actually the day that I figured out that something was wrong in regards. I had pain, for a good amount of days, but I thought it was my back, So I didn't really look for things on my back. I didn't really. Now apparently it takes a couple of days before it actually springs forward in regards to the skin. But when I'm, already the breast was red when I figured out something in regards of it. So I remember, the Thursday was a pretty hot day, so I took my t-shirt off, and I did notice that I had some redness over here, but I just didn't really think much about it. I was like, okay, I had some redness. I was more concerned in regards of the pain of my back, if anything. But then, then I guess it began to annoy me or something like that. So I ended up, looking at it and, checking the mirror in regards of my, just checking out like what maybe something in regards of my back, but I didn't really think, I didn't really, I didn't think I would see anything. I just thought my back was, So but I checked the mirror, and apparently, there we go. Okay, that's just really, like that's a lot of days before, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, yeah, well, let's see here. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess. I guess 7 days, and we'll have to be careful in regards to the temperature and all that. Oh wait, I do have this. Oh yeah, maybe we can actually use that. That's actually a great idea. Let's see. I have this new fan. Maybe I can just put it down and just make it go like this, and then it should actually. That was a great idea actually. Well, it's a little noisy, but it's not too much. Let's try again. I have it pointing down here, a little down here. I see here, feel like, yeah. Oh, give me a break. Apparently it seems to still be. I'll just give it a little fan here. Maybe I should have fixed it beforehand in regards, probably. And sometimes it doesn't really have a problem with the heat. Sometimes it does, So. Of course it is a little hot inside here. So there we go, let's try again. Oh, that's my fat body, Yeah, I'm too fat. All these satanic ways of attacking us, it's just terrible. I was nearly getting to 100 and then, Just Eat, just sent me a direct advertising, even if I have no advertising, right, on my, but let's just send a private advertising then, right, directly to me. And then I fell in again, and I've never been as fat as I am now, but, was also, in regards of doing the juice fasting mostly, where I was losing kilos. It wasn't going as quick as in the old days, but I'm thinking, yeah, of course, I'm getting older, so the burning, and of course I don't have the muscles that I had at that time. I was losing 1.6 kilos, in my younger days, a day, 1.6 kilos a day. And then of course it begins to go down and smooth out and all that. But 1.6 kilos a day was not, close to 1.6 kilos a day when last time I did the. Oh well, so, but of course I'm also older, and as I understand it, things goes downward when you get older in regards of, so anyway, so that might be the reason. So it will take a little longer to lose the kilos doing a juice fast. Now, if anyone want to lose fat, the best way is to do a juice fast. Just, from fruit and vegetables, just, whatever, just do a juice fast. And only drink juice. You can pretty much drink as much as you want, but only juice. Fat doesn't make you. Sugar doesn't make you fat. Okay. But if you take sugar and fat, the fat will be put on your body because the body has all the fuel it needs from the sugar. Okay, so that's how it works. There's a lot of bullshit around. In this world with all the nonsense. So if you eat things with sugar and have fat at the side, the fat will be put on your body. So that's how you pretty much easily get fat. Sugar and fat. Put them together and you get fat very quickly. If you only drink, you can pretty much take as much sugar as you want, as long as it's not, I'm not saying in regards of doing it in regards of health, because of health issues, because fungus loves sugar. But as long as you're just taking sugar, you're not going to get fat. You just drain, as much sugar as you pretty much could, and you wouldn't get fat. Just look at the fruitarians and the vegetarians that only eat, fruits. I was one of them. You don't get fat. You can eat all day long, and you don't get fat. Why? Because you're not eating any, fat or very little fat, So, oh my. It's painful. Anyway, getting back to the Hellfire thing. Well, yeah, it's pretty painful. Apparently, it seems to be able to do a lot of havoc. I don't know. I think this is bullshit in regards to how they try to cover it up in regards of, chickenpox. I don't know, maybe it wasn't chickenpox, but as far as I recall, there was this thing in regards of if someone had chickenpox, parents would make the children go together. Or maybe that's another. Maybe it's another sickness. But the thing is, if you had chickenpox, and they will say, well, if you had chickenpox, you can't get chickenpox again. Well, that's kind of a lie, because shingles is chickenpox in another variation. It's the same virus. You get the chickenpox, you get infected with chickenpox, right? And you get all these spots all around and all that. Then it fixes inside your, in the nerve. And then all of a sudden it can just spring forward in regards of shingles. Well, it's the same virus. It's the same thing. Don't give me this bullshit in regards of it's being two different sicknesses. It's not. When they say, because if you have shingles, you can actually give chickenpox to someone else, but you can't give them shingles. Well, the chickenpox is shingles, When you have the chickenpox, which is, can be all over the body, you can then get shingles. You can have an explosion of shingles afterwards sometimes in your life. Because it's the same virus. And when you have shingles, you can, fix this virus, chickenpox. You can get, but they would say, if you have shingles and you can't, transfer the shingles sickness to someone else. You can't make them have shingles. Oh, what kind of bullshit is this? It's just, when you read this, you're just thinking, what is this maniac bullshit? You can't give the sickness of shingles to someone else that, that hasn't had shingles, or that hasn't had, yeah. It's like, but you can give them chickenpox. And it's like, so you can't give another person, shingles, but you can give them chickenpox. Well, the chickenpox is shingles. You gotta be kidding me. So they will say, well, you can, if you have shingles, you can get other people that hasn't have chickenpox, you can give them chickenpox, the sickness of chickenpox. Well, well, chickenpox is shingles. The first place of this sickness, or the first thing of the engagement of this, this sickness is, so-called chickenpox. And then the chickenpox virus is hiding, in the nerve in regards of your, and then it spring forward out in a nerve, so you have it, for example, on one side. So I don't have it on this side, but I have it on this side. Just kind of, you have this, belt, as it's also called apparently, like an upper belt. Like if you have like these belts, right, going like this and around, right, you have half a belt pretty much in this side. You have here and it moves down here, and so yeah, so it's just bullshit. I said, oh, you can't, you can't give shingles to another person, but you can give them chickenpox. It's just, you can see, it's bullshit, because it's the same sickness. It's just two different variations of it. The first one, it gets you, it infects you, and then you have the virus in you, and at some point it can bloom out, and then you can infect others. There we go, infection. You can infect others with chickenpox, because shingles is chickenpox, whatever name you want to call it. It's the same thing. It might come in two different variations in regards to the body, but it's still the same virus. It's still connected. It's the same thing. It's just two stages, of the same thing. It's like, oh, but you can't get chickenpox after you had it once. What are you talking about? You can get shingles. Yeah, but shingles is a form of this, this virus. It's just, you gotta be kidding me. And I can't remember if it was chickenpox that parents, got together to get their children, or if it was another kind of sickness. Like, let's see, parents gets together to have their children infected with chickenpox. I think that was what they did in the old days, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, there we go. Why did parents make kids get chickenpox? Yeah, let's see what they say. Before the chickenpox vaccine, many people used pox parties as a way to infect their children with the virus. The idea was to enable them to build immunity before reaching adulthood when the symptoms of the infection can be more severe. And yet they will actually say, and the thing is, what they don't, when you listen to these things, as every single time I heard this thing in regards of chickenpox, the idea was that when you had chickenpox once, you couldn't get it again. That's a lie. Why do I say it's a lie? Because the variation of the same virus is now in you, and you now have the risk of it blooming out and becoming this. Now, it might not be on the whole body like the first time where it infects you, but now you have it in you, and it can. So if you never had chickenpox, you couldn't get this because this is the same virus. So why in the world, as a parent, would you infect your child? And also some of the sources says, well, chickenpox is not really that serious at all, So it doesn't matter if you get chickenpox as a child or as a what do you call it? As a grown up, As far as I can see, well, it's not really that serious, overall. Well, maybe I'll then take the chance of never getting infected with this bullshit in the first place, right? Because if you are not infected with chickenpox the first time, you're not going to be able to have what they call shingles or hellfire, as they call it in Danish, and I guess also some of the English versions seem to also talk about hellfire. It's the same virus, same thing, just different stages of it. It's like it's just two different stages of the same thing. First time it infects you, you get it from the outside, it infects your body and all that, and now you have the possibility of it blooming. And when it blooms, like and it all these small bubbles comes around and all that, now you can affect others with the virus, and it's the same virus. I can't believe these bullshitters. If your child got chickenpox, they can't get chickenpox again. Oh, really? So what are you calling? Oh, we call that shingles. Yeah, but it's the same virus, just two different stages of the same thing. You can now, when you have shingles, you can now transfer chickenpox to others that haven't had it, because it's the same thing. I just don't get these bullshitters, There's so much bullshit in this world. I'm just reading it, and I'm just thinking about these. Why would it? Probably a woman thing. There was just probably the women that fell for this bullshit, and the men just going along with this to, have their children, Before the chickenpox vaccine, many people, and I wouldn't take the vaccine either. I wouldn't put this junk into my children. But anyway, before the chickenpox vaccine, many people used pox parties as a way to infect their children with the virus. The idea was to enable them to build immunity before reaching childhood or adulthood. Sorry, I'm like, if that immunity in regards to this virus, how is it that it's able to release itself? And you still have a pretty good chance for it to bloom later in life. The risk after you get up in age gets higher and higher and higher. And you know what? If you didn't have chickenpox, you wouldn't have the risk of blooming out. And it can apparently damage nerves and makes, risk of, what do you call it, heart stops and apparently different things. The English sources seems to be much more severe in regards to talking about this than the Danish. Now, if I had it in my head and all that, apparently you can also, in regards of the the vision and all that kind of problems. You can apparently have pain for years and years and years. This apparently goes away. I think it was 3 or 4 weeks or something like that after its initial beginning or something. We'll see. But anyway, afterwards, the pain can continue for years. Because apparently it ruins the nerves endings or something like that. And it's just painful, painful, painful. Yeah, anyway. So I can risk actually having this pain continue for years and years and years. Oh, how wonderful, right? I'm like, I don't know how I got chickenpox in my youth. I don't know if my parents, made me go to one of these parties or whatever. Or, who knows? I don't know. Or maybe it was just, maybe I just got it by by a more authentic way or something like that. But I'm like, if you could, don't let your children have this nonsense. Why would you? If you go through your whole life without getting chickenpox, then you don't get Hellfire. Wouldn't that be nice, right? You don't need to go to, why not just try to actually do that, right? Instead of having this painful bullshit later in life. And it's like, oh, but you can't get chickenpox anymore. Oh, really? So what's this? Oh, but that's not chickenpox. It's the same virus. You gotta be kidding me. And now I can infect others with chickenpox from these things because they're producing apparently virus and they are airborne and all that. Yeah. Come and get chickenpox, right? Just anything. Yeah. No, just don't give me a break. I don't want to have painful. But as far as I can understand it, it's more severe when you are in adulthood. Yeah, but it's a very mild overall in regards to chickenpox. So I'm like, if chickenpox is not really that dangerous the first time, even for grown-ups and all that, why not just take the chance of never getting it in the first place? If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And then you have just spared yourself for a lot of bullshit, And if you get it later in life, well, okay, then at least you didn't have the chance of getting Hellfire at least, which can apparently damage your nerve endings and all that. So why did parents make kids get chickenpox? Yeah, apparently it is chickenpox. I was thinking maybe it was one of the other sicknesses because I don't understand the logic behind it. I think it's pretty much unreasonable. Why in the world would it's probably the medical mafia that was pushing this or something like that. Is it okay to be around a child with chickenpox? You gotta be kidding me. It's like if you have a child that have chickenpox, you wouldn't just put it, it says here, you need to stay away from schools, nursery, or work until all the spots are formed or formed escape. This is usually 5 days after the spots appeared. So, now these spots came last in regards to my breast. It began and that's the thing. Apparently I don't know how far, I don't think it's not over yet in regards of spreading and all that, but, there's still some of them that, so I can still, but I was outside Friday and going around and all that. Hopefully I haven't infected someone, I didn't really, and I was also outside last Friday. I was having hurt. I was having pain. I thought it was other things that could be the possibility. I thought maybe it was in regards to those bags and all that. So, the first Friday that I had the pain, before Sabbath and all that, you go out buying for the Sabbath and all that, some food, and I went out to buy, and actually the pain tended to, while riding the bike and going, actually I was, the pain went away for that, and then I got home and the pain began to come back, and I thought maybe it's something in regards to my household because I had this spare bulb thing that apparently had broken, and I thought it might be some quicksilver or whatever, that might be making, I don't know. Whatever the case, I didn't really know, I thought well, why is it now hurting? Getting home again and beginning to be painful when it, when I was outside, I didn't really feel it much. It seemed to be getting away, but nah, I probably couldn't have. I don't know if I could have been if I could actually have given it to others at that point. Maybe not. But so last Friday, I went out to get the light bulb away as well, and I went to this place to get some stuff. Like I got this blower thing, USB blower, just for the summer thing. Actually, I wanted another one, but apparently that was 230 volts. So anyway, this is okay as well. It has a battery. Apparently, it's a lightweight, so you can take it with you. Apparently, whatever. That's I can just show it off here. That's the way. That's the thing. And apparently, I haven't been able to measure in regards to how much energy it can take in the battery, because it stalls the battery testers. I'm not sure why that is, but anyway. So I don't know if hopefully I haven't fixed someone with chickenpox. So it's like Friday. Was it Friday coming home that I kind of further got into researching, because I first found out Thursday that that I had it. Like Thursday was the day that I figured out, oh, there's something here, right? Like a red spot here, because again there was nice weather, so I took off the t-shirt and I saw this red spot and all that. Or red spots on my. I didn't really think much about it at first, because it was just red spots. There wasn't any bulbs or whatever on it. It was just red, just okay, it could be something, whatever. So I just didn't really think much about it before it began to, I guess, painful or whatever, at least it began to annoy me. And I was like, in regards to the back was still hurting, and I didn't understand why it was still hurting. I would, if it was my back issue, I would have thought it became, I tried to lay on my, in the beginning, I tried to lay on my felt, what do you call it, my so-called bed, what is it called, felt, I can't, my cot bed, So I tried to lay on the cot to release my back from, but that didn't really work, and I was like, why is this not working? I would have thought this should work, to just get a little release away from my back. But that didn't really work. It's just still painful. I was like, this is weird, Did I really hurt my back that much, by going with these two bags in my hands and all that? And they, I don't know. Anyway, so first day I figure out that, in regards to the spot, and I look on my back and all that, and I begin to look into what it could be. And I was thinking Hellfire. I don't know why I was thinking Hellfire, but I was just thinking Hellfire. That was my first initial, even if I didn't really know what it was, but I was thinking Hellfire. And someone else suggested another thing in regards of what it was. But I was thinking Hellfire. And so I looked into first the other thing, and then Friday I really further looked into after coming home from this place and buying some stuff and all that, and I'm finding out that it's actually, you can actually transfer this sickness, and as far as I can see, it must be Hellfire. It's just, what could it else be than Hellfire? It has all the symptoms. It's only on one side. It's painful, very painful. It comes up. The pictures are exactly the same in regards of Hellfire. It starts off with this bubble thing with, and apparently that's when it still releases viruses apparently in the air. So you can, apparently people can suck it in and apparently get infected. So, and then you had pretty much all the stages as well. You can see the different stages from them and all that, and it's I can feel the back at the moment. it's, you know, the crawl, you know, some sensation of things happening on the back and all that. And of course, things are happening on the back, you know. So yeah, but yeah, it pretty much fits all the, you know. I was reading more and more of it, and yeah, as far as I can see, it fits the bill, you know. I think the diagnosis correctly. Now, why did I get it? That could be different reasons. And yeah, I have glass in my feet that I hasn't gotten out because the medical mafia apparently are just totally incompetent in regards to doing that. Just live with it. Oh yeah, that's the way. Just live with things, right? Just get into the hamster wheel and just, you know, but let's not fix a person before we actually, you know, let's not fix anything pretty much in this wicked society. They just want to kill us all. They want to have us hurt, and like if an electrician or many of the other real working fields was as incompetent as the medical drug dealers, you know, yeah, you would never have, you know, you never have light, you know. It's like, you know, gotta be kidding. They're so incompetent. They're just filthy, disgusting murderers on license. These white-coated, you know, Roman, Latin, Greek spouting bullshitters, you know, they're just filthy, disgusting murderers on license. They're quacks. On many levels, they're just quacks. And they want to call others that actually have more in regards of a health nature approach, they want to call them quacks, you know. It's a disgusting, filthy system that are promoting sickness and mistreatment, misdiagnosed and mistreatment. It's disgusting. So you really have to be aware if you're going to these bullshitters. But it would be nice to just have a verification in regards to this, of course. You know, I guess they should be, you know, have a little competence actually just verifying. You know, it should be very easy for them. And of course, then they get the cash for 5 minutes or something like that. I'm sure they probably get a good amount. So, I was like, you know, this is something. How you catch the varicella zoster virus, right? Oh, wait. Let's listen to this. This is a very well health article from 2022, the 15th November. But anyway, this is the bullshit that they promote, right? Is shingles contagious? Now, shingles is in regard to this variation of the same virus. And, you know, it blows out viruses so people can be infected with chickenpox, you know, which is just shingles pretty much. And shingles is chickenpox. It's just different. It's the same virus, just different stages. And that's again the bullshit that when you say, well, you know, if parents were gathering into these pox parties to have their children infected with this sickness so they couldn't get it later on, I'm like, are you kidding me? You just what you call it, you just made your child in a risk of getting shingles, which is the same thing, just another variation of the same virus. So you know, but you can't get chickenpox anymore. Are you? Oh no, it's the coffee all over. You gotta be kidding me! You know, you can get shingles. It's the same virus that explodes. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I failed to record that. That's great. Oh, I shouldn't. I pushed the wrong buttons. Oh my. Maybe I can just take one of these. Oh, whoa. Yeah. Painful. Pain. Yeah. Well, anyway. See if this works in regards to sucking up all the coffee. Yeah, it's just, you know, it was probably the medical mafia that was pushing this nonsense. I don't know. They're just criminals. Lots of people want to do evil things. So, it's disgusting. Let's see if we can get this out. And the what do you call it? And the older you get, the greater the chance of you actually getting this shingle things and all that. And I guess if you actually get shingles as a parent, your children could be infected as well. So if you actually get shingles and all that, and you find out and all that, you as a parent should move someplace where you could actually get. But then the question is, where can you actually move? Now, if you have some family that already had this sickness, you could move over to them at that period. That would probably be a wise idea, because why would you let your child get this nonsense? So again, that's another thing. If you actually had chickenpox and your parent purposely got you infected with chickenpox, you in the future will be able to get it, and by that you might actually infect your child. Why would you do that? So I don't understand this pox party bullshit that they apparently. But anyway, let's move on. So let's see. Is shingles contagious? When you have shingles, you can pass on the virus and give chickenpox to someone who has never had it before. Did you get that? So when you have shingles, you can pass on the virus and give chickenpox to someone who has never had it before. It's the same thing, It's just different variations, same virus. You gotta be kidding me. But they will say, but if you have had chickenpox, you can never get the sickness of chickenpox anymore. Hello, it's the same virus, just two different ways, First thing, you get infected, you have the virus in your body, and now at some point it can bloom. It should be called, if anything, it should be chickenpox stage 1 and chickenpox stage 2. That's the way to grade it, because that's what it is. It's chickenpox. Both, you call it one name, one single name, because it is the same sickness. It's just two different stages. You don't call it two different names and try to make, this sickness is over here, and if you had this sickness, you can't get it anymore. But now you can get this. But this is not the same sickness. Give me a break, Bullshitters. So they, I guess the medical mafia must have, sold this thing to the people, and the women, the women will listen to, there's so much garbage, they loved garbage, And they would just run along with the garbage and hurt their family on so many levels because they trust these authorities and all that. It's incredible. Just look at feminism, right? Women are just, running after all this bullshit, hurting themselves on so many levels, wanting to become men while hating men, and ruining everything for themselves, including men and families overall, and that's just disgusting. Women should never have the ability to vote, never ever. They shouldn't have the possibility to murder their own children. They take the choice when they spread their legs, That's where their choice is. In regards of all these things where they can't get pregnant and all that, you're still whoring. You might not be able to get pregnant, or if you get pregnant, you actually might kill the living being in you, kill it by default. But you're still a murderer. You're still a filthy, stinking murderer. Yeah. If you kill anything that is living on purpose, you are a stinking murderer. That's just how it is. It's what do you call it? We call it something, right? When you purposely murder someone, it's called what? First degree murder. So I don't know in English and all that. But that's what it is. Let's see if I can find it. First degree murder. First degree. That's a lot of murderers in society. First degree murder. Incredible. And now all this Me Too nonsense and all that. Oh, here we have difference between first, second, and third degree murder. Let's see here what it says. Okay. First degree murder Californian law defines murder as unlawful killing of a human being or a fetus with malice of forethought. First-degree murder is the most serious form of murder, and in California, any murders that are committed with intent and premeditation, and meditation is, in regards to thinking, it's not like this satanic nonsense of meditation. It's a thought of, in regards of premeditation of, thinking about how and this and that and all that. With intent or premeditation are classified as first degree. So killing a child in regards of abortion is first degree murder. Now, of course, and also in regards of these different ways that women can get so they can't so-called get pregnant are actually murder, because the life that is now conceived, it can't, some of these things apparently makes it so it can't, attach to the, I guess it's called, I don't know, uterus or something. I can't remember. But it's, the thing, in regards of it has to attach itself. The egg that has now, been conceived has to be able to attach itself. Now, if you're taking something that makes it so it can't attach yourself, you are committing first degree murder. You're stopping the life that would have, lived if you didn't do what you do. So this is intent. The first degree murder must be committed with some sort of intent to kill the person. Yeah, okay. First degree murder. The murderer must therefore have attacked or harmed their victim with the purpose of ending their life or doing evil. There you go. That's when women take these different kinds of, what do you call that? So they can't get pregnant and all that, and it's just disgusting when you look into it. And apparently women just don't, have the mindset of understanding, or maybe they do, but apparently they're so depraved, so it just, it's disgusting. It's just incredible how women, how filthy women can be, It's just absolutely disgusting. It's just... Anyway, let's read further in regards to when you have shingles, you can pass on the virus and give chickenpox to someone who has never had it before, because chickenpox is just the first stage of shingles. You won't directly give them shingles. Oh, you won't directly give them shingles. Oh, but if they get chickenpox, they will be risk of getting shingles later in life. Whoa! Why? Because it's the same thing. Oh yeah, it might, the progress, in regards of might be a little different, but it's still the same thing. You have the shingles have more of a cluster-like look, and it has like following the nerve and this and that, and following a location in the body, whereas the chickenpox will, move out can move out in the whole body and all that. But it's still the same thing. It's still the same virus, This article discusses how shingles can spread. Oh. Anyway. How you catch the varicella zoster virus. And as far as some of the words was in regards of a belt, it's called the belt thing in regards to, That's like, I guess, and that's also what it reminds you of in regards to, if you have like these belts that goes like these strappings around like this, an upper belt thing, and it's like a half belt in some sense. Anyway, that's what it also reminded me of, and apparently the Greek and the Latin words seems to also... Anyway, shingles is not contagious. Oh, you listen to these bullshitters, right? Again, let's try that again. How you catch the varicella zoster virus. Shingles is not contagious. Listen to the bullshit. Is that bullshit? Oh yeah, that's bullshit. Bullshit. That's bullshit. It's because it is contagious. That's they wanna, the logic is out the door from these guys. Shingles is not contagious. You can't catch shingles from someone. Oh. You see how they divide the two things, the two variation, just but this is not the same sickness as this one. The same virus. Just incredible how stupidly bullshit this world is, and of course the medical mafia probably had like, I don't know, but in the past they probably promoted, well, you can't get chickenpox if you had chickenpox before, and just forgot to tell the people about the rest. I don't know, because apparently this is something, when I heard about it many times, in regards to these pox parties and all that, the idea was that they couldn't get it later on in life. So you get immune, right? No. Because now you can get the second stage. You now have the virus in you, sleeping, waiting for the moment to bloom out and be able to infect others with the virus. Oh, but they cannot get this, but they can get that. Oh, give me a break. It's the same bullshit. It's the same virus. It's, shingles is not contagious. Oh, really? You can't catch shingles from someone. However, a person with shingles, it's like this bullshit of that. However, a person with shingles can pass along XCV, in regards of the virus, I guess, the varicella zoster virus, to people who have never contracted chickenpox. So chickenpox is just a whole nother sickness compared to shingles. Like, who blew? It's like someone just blew their mind out. These bullshitters. Same virus, 2 different variations of the same sickness. Don't give me this bullshit of, oh, this is another sickness and this is another. It's the same virus, same origin, same foundation. Same. It's like, so it goes, they when you see these things, it's like the magic going on, the bullshit magic, right? You start with chickenpox and infects you and all that, and it goes to the nerve, right? In the back of it goes to the nerve, right? And all of a sudden, by magic, it becomes shingles when it begins to go out again, to bloom out. There's another sickness. These bullshitters are just, I'm so sick and tired. I kind of become very, I become angry. Because this is bullshit. And it's just more of the bullshit of the medical mafia. I don't know how they sold parents this idea that, and the whole idea that people don't know about that if you don't get chickenpox, you can't get shingles. But they will say, well, if you have chickenpox, you can't get chickenpox anymore. Well, you can get shingles, right? And shingles is what? It's chickenpox. Stage 2. That's what it is. Chickenpox stage 2. That's what they should name it. Because that's what it is. Can you get chickenpox after you had chickenpox? Yes. Just a little variation of it, You can get chickenpox still. You have now been infected with chickenpox, and you are now in the risk of blooming out with chickenpox. And you can thereby release chickenpox to other people that will get the first stage of chickenpox. And when they have had the first stage of chickenpox, they can now get the second stage of chickenpox. There we go. That's sanity. All this bullshit of that, all this trying to, it's 2 different sickness. Anyway, shingles is not contagious. You can't catch shingles from someone. However, a person with shingles can pass along VXV, varicella zoster virus, to people who have never contracted chickenpox. So all of a sudden, this other kind of sickness, this shingles things apparently can make other people get chickenpox. But apparently those sicknesses are not related, right? Is it just me that becomes absolutely, full of anger with the bullshit? Because the bullshit is all around us, the lies, the deceptions and all that. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding. How how depraved are the people in this wicked world? Apparently, very, they're full of demons these days. I'm sure you could probably dig down further. They probably propagandize to the mothers in regards of this pox party thing. I don't know in regards of. I wouldn't need to look into that. If the medical mafia actually was pushing that, hey, if you make your children get chickenpox, they can't get it later in life. They can just get shingles, which can damage the nerves and make a lot of other issues. And the older you get, the greater the chance for this blooming out, and can ruin a lot of things actually. But if you never got chickenpox, you would not get shingles, but you wouldn't get the second stage of chickenpox. And when you have the second stage of chickenpox, you can give the first stage of chickenpox to other people that hasn't had the chickenpox. Okay, doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, sanity against all the insanity. So the varicella zoster virus can be transmitted from a person with shingles to someone who has never had chickenpox. I'm sick and tired of this bullshit. How they just try to. It's just bullshit. You have to stay at a madhouse for really. How can these people be so full of bullshit? I guess money, lots of blood money. But anyway, I'm thinking, if you actually look into the history of the propaganda of the medical mafia, they're probably promoting that, hey, if you get chickenpox, you can never get it in the rest of your life, which is bullshit. But that's probably how they sold it, to have mothers purposely infect their children with chickenpox. I'm sure it's probably a mother thing, because women just believes everything that they are told by government and these white coat bullshitters. Just incredible how easy it is to deceive women. They're clearly easily misled by demons. I think that's also probably the reason why women are running after a lot of the bad boys, and all that. Why? Because the demons are making the attraction, right? When women say, well, this is a good guy and he has everything that ticks all the boxes and all that, but I just don't feel anything for him, But this other guy with a lot of red flags and all that, I'll run after him, So I can spread my legs, and hurt this other guy that is a wonderful man and all that. And then because there's something in me that just attracts me to it. Oh, maybe some demons, maybe. Because you left God and thereby are being pulled by demons to have some kind of lust for. Oh, he gives me the tingles or whatever, whatever words they use. It's just bullshit. Anyway. If you're married and you commit adultery, it's a stoning reason for both you and the guy that you're doing it with. Just something to think about, And that's also, you have one crime being done when the woman commits adultery, right? When she has, children with another husband, and she has children with the husband and all that, and then she runs after another man to commit adultery. Well, she could be stoned with the man that she's doing it with. And not only that, then the state and society, this depraved satanic bullshit, are even helping her to steal the children from the husband and, shaking all the resources out of the husband, and maybe taking his house and all that, just totally, So you go from one crime that she actually could be stoned for, in righteousness, you could be stoned for what she did. I'm not saying that you should stone her and all that, but, that's, the crime is at that level of evil. Now, not only does she do that, right? Then she runs away with whatever, lover boy, whatever. Then she steals the children of her husband, and then she makes him pay because he uses the state and this depraved satanic system to do it. And yeah, so one crime after another crime after third crime. It's not, the children is the husband's. She's pretty much dead. If she gets allowed to live after she committed adultery, she should just be happy. But she shouldn't be able to steal the children, steal the resources from the man, and ruin the man further. And, of course, women will put the blame on the man, right? Oh, but I didn't this and that, and he wasn't blah, 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 blah. Well, he didn't do the adultery. You did, So, it's always the man's fault, in this feministic bullshit world and all that. But women are full of bullshit, so that's not really any. That's disgusting. Just ruining a whole family. One of the last stories I heard that was, this guy that is reading a lot of stories from. This was from a woman. Now this woman found a wonderful male that she nearly grew up with. And they fell for each other. They have been together a long, long, long time. They were virgins and all that in regards of getting together. They were together. Now, this was the perfect man for her, And he did everything and working, trying to this and that and all that. So what does she do? Well, she commits in a relationship, or what do you call it, adultery with another man. So this guy that she had been together with for nearly the whole life, that was everything that she pretty much, they were like this, right? They were like this, they had a wonderful, everything was wonderful and all that. But anyway, so she goes out, to have some excitement with another man, and the man that she has been together with, I can't remember if they had been physical married at that point. I think they were, but in any case, they didn't have any children yet, as far as I know. But in any case, he finds out that she had committed. Yeah. So he leaves at the point that she finds out, and he kills himself. So this woman writing, writing about it and all that. Oh, she feels so sorry, and she blah 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 and all that. Well, I guess you didn't feel sorry when you did the excitement with another man, right? Who knows if she continued with that man, she was so terrible sorry and this and that and all that, and yeah. Well, you should probably have thought about that before, committing, This guy sounded like a wonderful guy, but he was probably one of those nice guys. And of course, women don't want nice guys, right? Because that's just terrible, being a nice guy that actually just wants the best for the woman, right? You want some kind of, not so nice guy, right? You want to run away, run with all those baddies, to have some excitement and all that. They're just terrible. Ruining a man, a good man, and she even, and she was so terrible, so terrible. Yeah, well, yeah, apparently it seems like women always, well, not always, but, oh, it's so, but, I did this and all that, and there's just blah, 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 and I'm so terrible, sorry, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, doesn't really change what you did, does it? No. You made him kill himself, just terrible. He should just have left you and found another woman. He sounded like a great man. A great man. But apparently, a lot of women doesn't want great men that have working, that are... It's just not enough excitement, apparently. So they just go out and haul with other men, commit adultery, and if he has children, they will just ruin the whole family. It's a mess these days. And use the government to do all these things. One criminal act upon another. It's just incredible. So, anyway, let's continue with this. VXV can be transmitted. So, what is VXV? I was like, see, was that the varicella zoster virus? That's the thing when when they begin to all these, you have to remember these short forms and all that. It's typical the medical mafia when you read the reports and all that they use all these. So you have to dig around and figure out what does this mean, and you have to remember all these short forms and all that. So and all these Roman Latin bullshit names and all that. They sometimes put Roman and Greek names together and just to make it hard to decipher what it really is. They're just hiding what the causes really are. Because there's money in blowing to the if you have a fire going, right, they just blow to the smoke. They just blow the smoke away, but the fire is still going, so there will be more smoke, but there's a lot of money to just blow the smoke, and not look at the fire. Anyway, the VXV, the varicella zoster virus, can be transmitted from a person with shingles to someone who has never had chickenpox via direct contact with fluid from shingles, rash, or blisters. As far as I understand it from some of the other sources, as long as you have production fabrics going on in regards to this, in regards to the mucus thing before, it's airborne. At least some of the pages that I read, it says it's airborne. It's not only that you need to be in contact, it actually flies out in the room, and people will then breathe it, and then they can get chickenpox. It's not possible to pass along VXV, varicella zoster virus, before shingles blisters appear or after lesions crossed over. So it's not possible to pass along the varicella zoster virus before shingle blisters appear. Well, chickenpox blisters, whatever, appears. So, to have some sources actually says that just in regards to the infection, you can actually. So I don't know in regards to that, but as far as it seems like before these white blisters, it seems to be able to begin to push out, at least some of the sources says. I can't verify this and that and all that, but in regards of being contagious and all that, that's some of the sources. As I understand, these these blister things is in regards of it seems like the immune system also responding in regards of white blood cells that is trying to attack it. I think that's what is in regards to the blisters, although I'm uncertain, but anyway. If it's not possible, it's interesting how they say, well, if you had chickenpox once, you will then you are immune, right, to chickenpox, right? Well, if you're immune, how is it that you can get chickenpox second grade? If you're immune for this thing, right, this virus, right, how is it that you can get the second variation of it, the second grade? That don't give me the bullshit with another name and all that. It's the same virus. If you were immune to this virus, you wouldn't get it a second time. And it is still the same virus we're talking about. If you were immune to the virus, you wouldn't get it all over again. So, via direct contact with fluid from shingles, rash, or blisters, it is not possible to pass along the varicella zoster virus before shingles, blisters appear after lesion crossed over. Or after lesions crossed over. So, it's not possible to pass along the varicella zoster virus before shingle blisters appear or after lesion crossed over. Okay, so I'm not sure in regards to how the crossing in regards, because there seems to be a stage of like where it seems like it has a crush, but then it would further go into this dry crush thing. But anyway, and I've read sources that say that seems like that you can already do it before the blister thing and all that, and apparently the blister thing seems to be with white blood cells or something like that combating the thing. Anyway, however, shingles is a lot less contagious than chickenpox. Oh, it's still the same thing. By covering up your rash, you can prevent the spread of the virus. Now, in regards of being less contagious, same thing, but maybe it's less contagious because the whole body is pretty much, the first time it can attack the whole body. On the second stage, it attacks areas. So of course, if you have less output of producing virus what do you call it? Fabrics? No, yeah, fabrics in regards of what is it called? Fabrica. If you have what is it called? These fabrics? No, that's not fabrica in English. Let's see in English. Of course, if you have less factories, there we go. If you have less virus factories, productions on your body, of course it would be less contagious, you would think, right? Because you have less virus going out there, because you have less output in regards of it. So it might be less contagious, but it's still the same thing, You give me a break, So, however, shingles is a lot less contagious than chickenpox. By covering up your rash, you can prevent the spread of the virus. Well, and they talk about that's from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. But other sources I've seen is that the virus goes out, The virus is produced. The factories, all these factories, is pumping out, virus into the air. And thereby other people in this, like if someone was in my room at the moment, it would probably have pumped a lot of the virus out, and being in the room would probably be able to, you would probably be able to get chickenpox just by entering the room and getting the, I don't know how far the virus can go and all that, but as far as I understand it, pumping out virus, into the air to blow around, and anyone that, is risk of getting chickenpox. Anyway, of course, if you have the first stage, you have many more factories, right? If you have more factories, more virus would be sent out, right? Doesn't that make sense? Like if you have, let's say you have 1,000 factories, right? They would produce more, virus than 100 factories, right? Because you have like 10 times the factories, right? It's like, doesn't that pretty much make sense, But anyway, and thereby making it more risky to be in the room of someone that has chickenpox, whether it's grade 1 or grade 2, just give me a break with the bullshit, I'm just using my, it just makes sense, I think. But of course, I don't have all the details here, so I'm just trying the best. I'm pretty new in regards to this. I just heard in the past that if these pox, collect gatherings and all that, that was because you couldn't get it later on. But that's bullshit. You might not be, getting the first grade, but now you have the possibility of blooming out the second grade, because it's sleeping in your body. It's now in your body. But you are immune to chickenpox. Well, if you're immune to chickenpox, you should be immune to the second grade of chickenpox, right? And yet, it's still there. It's still able to do a lot of havoc. Now, shingles usually happen many years after an initial chickenpox infection. You see, if you haven't had chickenpox, you can't get shingles, okay? Because shingles is chickenpox. So if you haven't had chickenpox, you can't get shingles because, again, it's the same thing. in regards to the same virus, the same foundation. It's just in you now, and you have the risk of it blooming out. But if you never got chickenpox, you don't have that risk. So why would you run to a pox gathering and get chickenpox? Someone, you just write the comment below or whatever, I guess not many people see I just don't get it. So shingles usually happens many years after the initial chickenpox infection. The first signs of reactive. There we go. Let's try again. The first signs of a reactivation of the virus. Reactivation from chickenpox, virus. Reactivation, but now it's not chickenpox anymore. But apparently, anyway, pre-rash. So reactivation of the virus, pre-rash, are malaise, fever, or localized tingling or burning sensation and pain. I don't know in regards to the malaise. What is malaise? I don't know. See here. Google Translate selection to see what malaise is. Well, that didn't really help me much. No. Malaise. Yeah, well, that's how to say it doesn't really matter. Okay, well, just apparently open another window up here. Oh, they talk about it actually also being airborne, it seems. So maybe they will go into that. So we'll just say that it can't really, you need to touch it, but yet it can be airborne. Who knows, something of that. As a medical term, malaise is a feeling of general discomfort, uneasiness, or lack of well-being, and often the first sign of an infection of other. Anyway, by the way, is that Latin or Greek? Probably one of the two. Okay, call it. Etymology, origin. Well, it's seems to be from Latin, adian, sense of lying at, lying near, blah blah. What is the origin of malaise? It's from, no, it's just from French, but of course from the French it can be from the Latin as well. Anyway, whatever. I'll just. Oh wait, let's just. It's like from mal. So yeah. From French malaise, ills, ease. From mal, bad, some plus ease. So we have some from badly, ease. Well, anyway, feeling bad, let's see if we can get back to the article here. Okay. Fever or localized tingling or burning sensation and pain. Now, mostly I had pain, and that's the reason why I thought it was just my back pain, that I had hurt my back or something, that had been overburdened or something like that. But then it continued, and I tried to lay down and it didn't really work, and I was like, what is this? So it took a good amount of days before actually figuring out that it was, and finding out that I had this back thing and all that. Within a few days, a one-sided rash. So within a few days, a one-sided rash form on the face or body. Yeah, well, it's on my body. It can take up to 10 days for the rash and blisters to crust over. It will clear up entirely several weeks later. Yeah, okay. Is shingles airborne? Let's see what they see about that, because apparently they said, right, you can only get affected if you touch it, and that. But that's, that's the thing, right? A lot of different, bullshit information where you just, While chickenpox is an airborne disease. Oh, it is. Oh, so while chickenpox is an airborne disease. Oh. This is interesting. That's interesting because is shingles airborne? While chickenpox is an airborne disease, with shingles the virus can only be transmitted by contact with fluid from the rash or blisters. If the person with shingles has a localized rash and has a competent immune system, in such people airborne transmission is not a concern. Oh, wait. Well, that's not what I read other places in regards of. They say that, as long as you have the factories going, you are now fixing, the virus out in the air. So while chickenpox is an airborne disease, that's the first stage. With shingles, the virus can only be transmitted by contact with fluid from the rash or blisters if the person with shingles has a localized rash and has a competent immune system. Oh, wait. So they say, well, if the person has a competent immune system, so that's like a factor as well, apparently. I don't get this. In such people, airborne transmission is not a concern. So if the person doesn't have a competent immune system, it can go airborne. But if not, is that what they're saying? But anyway, I've read other sources that says yes, it's airborne as long as you get these things when it's then producing and it's fixing them out in the air. So I don't know. Wait, again, information, this and that. It can be very hard to figure out things because you have all these different, opinions about things, and however for people who are immunocompromised or have disseminated zoster with lesions outside of the primary area, airborne transmission is possible. But however, for people who are immunosuppressed, in regards to the immune system, compressed of the immune system, or have disseminated zoster with lesions outside of the primary area, like outside of the primary area, So what is the primary area? It's just, but the primary area can't do it, but if it's outside the primary area, it's just, doesn't it sound like bullshit, Like, I feel like it feels like bullshit. Oh, but if, then I see disseminated zoster. Let's see if, disseminated zoster can include generalized skin eruptions where the lesions occur outside of the primary or adjacent dermatomes. It can be difficult to distinguish from varicella. I don't get it, pain. Now we have, if we take the decimated, the problem is in regards of this varicella is that it can also attack, it attacks the inside as well, as far as I can understand it. So the outside is just the outside of it. You have inside where it also can make a lot of havoc, which is pretty much the, so the outside is just the outside, the inside is the I don't know how they clarify in regards to decimated compared to the, compared to what they believe is in regards of the, it's I can see all these pictures, it's terrible. It's just terrible. And just because I've gotten this once, right, doesn't mean I can't get it again, and again and again and again, apparently. So happy, what wonderful, So again, they talk about where it is, like in the back. It's like in the back thing here, and then it reactivates. So And then they talk about chickenpox and shingles, like two different things. Like, you know, same virus. You know, I don't understand these bullshitters. You know, it should be called chickenpox stage 1 and 2. You know, because it is the chickenpox virus. And you know, oh, you can't get chickenpox anymore afterwards. Give me a break. It is chickenpox. It's the same virus. Stop with the bullshit. Stop with the bullshit. Stop calling it two different things. It's the same virus. It's the same, and you can really, you know, it can really make some damage. So, however, for people who are immunocompromised in regards of having immune system in regards of, or have decimated zoster with lesions outside of the primary area, airborne transmission is possible. I don't get this, you know, why it wouldn't be airborne when it, and other sources have just also talked about that it's, you know, it's as long as it has the factories, it's airborne. I don't know about this bullshit information. It feels like to me that is bullshit, because if you have the, you know, what do we call factories? So that was if you have the factories, you know, it should probably make the flying, you know, virus. I don't see why it shouldn't be doing that. But then they say, well, if it's in regard, yeah, well, whatever. Anyway, this is what this article says anyway. How shingles develops. People who get infected with VXV, that's the virus thing. Oh, I gotta just say the virus, you know, because I can't remember the whole name for it. With the virus develop chickenpox. The virus then lays dormant in some people. It becomes active again in adulthood, causing the painful condition called shingles. Hellfire. Or maybe just chickenpox grade 2, you know? Not everyone who contracts chickenpox will develop shingles later in life. No, but if they hadn't had chickenpox, they wouldn't have gotten shingles, right? Because shingles is chickenpox. In rare cases, shingles may occur multiple times in a person's life. Oh, really? So they got chickenpox and they got the second stage chickenpox multiple times in their life? Oh, yeah. I'm 40 years. And I have it. You know, I have the nonsense. You know, I have the Hellfire bullshit. You know, the chickenpox grade 2. I can get it again. Yippee yippee yay. I can get it multiple times. Oh, how wonderful. Groups at risk. Some people are more likely to experience shingles after having had chickenpox, including people who have compromised immune systems because of a health condition, people who are taking immunosuppressing drugs from the medical mafia, I'm sure, you know. So some people are more likely to experience shingles after having had chickenpox. After having had, including blah blah. Women are more likely to develop shingles than men. Additionally, black people are less likely to have shingles than white people. Oh, how racist, right? It feels like a knife that is just cut into you, or cut out from the older adults are more likely to have complications as a result of shingles than other age groups. If you have not had chickenpox or never received the chickenpox vaccine, you are at risk of contracting the virus. Anyway, in regards to the vaccines, you know, that's apparently I just read in regards of someone talking about, you know, where he had someone getting the vaccines for this and still getting it, you know, in regards of, and having actually had the second grade version multiple times. How caregivers can protect themselves. Caregivers providing support to someone with shingles can take the following actions to protect themselves from the virus. Covering the rash and blisters to prevent the spread of the virus. Frequent hand washing, frequent clothing washing, promptly throwing away used bandages. So apparently they don't think that it can spread by the mouth, apparently. How to avoid spreading shingles. The most effective way for people with shingles to prevent the spread of the virus is to cover the rash, frequently hand wash, avoid scratching.
Additionally, you should avoid contact with vulnerable people if you develop shingles until the rash begins to heal and crust over. You should avoid people at high risk for virus complications, including people with compromised immune system and pregnant people. Isn't it also interesting that actually they will say, well, after you get, chickenpox, right? You can't, if you get shingles, you can't really, you can't infect them, right? And yet they will still say, well, if you have people that, then you should be careful. But again, if you actually have someone that have had chickenpox, you shouldn't be able to do anything, right? If you have shingles, because it shouldn't do anything, right? And yet they will say, well, you should still be careful in regard, a person with shingles is contagious until their rash crossed over. Can I go to work with shingles? You can go to work if you have shingles and are no longer contagious. However, you may need to wait until you are feeling better. Shingles can be excruciating and debilitating. You're no longer contagious when the rash and blisters begin to scape over. This is typical 10 days after the rash first crops up. And then they talk about vaccines and all that. 2 vaccines may help prevent shingles. The chickenpox vaccine lowers a person's chance of developing shingles. What? So the chickenpox vaccine lowers a person's chance of developing shingles? But you can still get chickenpox despite being vaccinated, which means you can also potentially get shingles later in life. So the vaccine pretty much is just to the trash, The current shingle vaccine, Shingles, is recommended for adults 50 years of age and older. A person can get the shingles vaccine even if they already experienced a shingles episode. No thanks. I would just snake oil bullshit and all that. You can pretty much keep for yourself. People can also get Shingles vaccine. How many, what do you call it? How many issues is there written on the vaccine note in regards of symptoms from getting the shot? No thanks. People can also, it's like the doctor really wants to inject you with something, but he sure doesn't want to have you read the information about it. People can also get the Shingles vaccine if they are unsure whether they had chickenpox as a child. Shingles is a 2-dose vaccine. For maximum effect, the person needs to get the second dose 2 to 6 months after the first. No thanks. Don't get the Shingles vaccine if you're severely allergic to any of the vaccine ingredients. Can we get the ingredient list maybe? Have shingles or any severe moderate illness or are pregnant. Just don't give me the. Just don't keep it away from me. If in doubt, talk to your healthcare provider to determine whether it makes sense for you to get a shingles vaccine. A word from Very Well. Shingles is a painful condition that can be prevented. If you never had chickenpox, you don't need to worry about developing shingles because shingles is the second grade version of chickenpox. Anyway, but you can contract chickenpox from someone who has shingles. Getting vaccinated for chickenpox or shingles can help you avoid infection and potentially complications. But what complications can you get from the vaccine? Why bother protecting yourself? Shingles often crops up later in life. While you might feel in tip-top shape now, years down the road, you might have to deal with a health condition that increases your risk of complications from shingles. In some people, shingles can cause lasting effects such as nerve damage. Thankfully, there are effective vaccines that can help prevent, there we go with the, the pushing of bullshit vaccines of the medical mafia. There are effective vaccines that can help prevent instances of both chickenpox and shingles. Want to know more about getting the vaccine? Talk to your healthcare provider, so-called healthcare provider. They're full of bullshit. To find out if it's right for you. Whatever. So there we go. Like, can you get chickenpox twice? Let's see if they have some bullshit going on in regards to that. They probably, no, you can't get it, right? Actually, it is possible to get chickenpox twice, though it is not common. After getting chickenpox, children typically build lifelong immunity and will not get it again. Sometimes the child's immunity to the virus is incomplete, so they could get a second chickenpox infection. Well, this article will go over what happens if you get chickenpox twice, how to tell if a rash is from chickenpox, how chickenpox looks and feels in adults, and what to do if you think you have chickenpox. You can't even be sure if you had chickenpox once, in regards to the first stage. You can't even be sure you won't get it the first stage again, So, but it's both chickenpox. If you have a problem with your immune system, you can have a second as well. That's all the reasons and all that. The signs and symptoms of chickenpox in adults are similar to those in kids and includes children, But anyway, so the same thing and all that. So by the time a chickenpox rash is in full swing, there can be hundreds of spots on the body, right? Yeah, okay. Well, here it says that chickenpox can be a serious illness for adults, but again, other places it says it's really not that, dangerous. So again, you have different conflicting information again, it's just, and that's what is terrible, How can you have so many different information? It's the same thing like you have the medical mafia attacking healthy things, right? You have articles attacking vitamins and this and that. You have positive articles about vitamins. And clearly someone is lying and deceiving and bullshitting, And yet you have both of the informations out there. Not like also when they scare you away from essential oils like this, this is oregano essential oils. Oh, it's terrible and blah blah, it's so dangerous and blah blah, there's a lot of bullshit, So this is a drop of oregano. Now I don't have that much. The only problem is you shouldn't really take it orally because it's so hot that it's so hot essential oil, so it just explodes throughout your mouth, and then you need some water to. But that's yeah. Whoo! Oh, so you shouldn't do that. Anyway, but many of these essential oils have antioxidants and have phenols in them as well. Are anti-fungus, antibacterial, antivirus, and so forward. So, and I think if anything worked in regards to the front, it was the oregano oil that I smeared out on my breast here. I think that might maybe stop the progress. I'm not sure, maybe not, but it seems like it hit it pretty. It seems like it stopped the. But I don't know. I put the oregano. I put the. I think the oregano, if anything, of these three things that I put on, was the thing that I started out with that and put it on, and it did seem to do something. So someone can try that if they see, to see it begin to progress and see if it can actually can stop it. You have to. I did it pretty. I didn't really catch the thing in the beginning. Because I didn't know. And sadly, I don't have more. I just have this little drop that I took here. It's just, I had a huge bottle of oregano oil, but I usually drink it and whatever, But anyway, it's a pretty. Oregano oil is a very, very, very powerful oil, and if you actually take it orally without, it usually explodes in your whole mouth, and it becomes so hot. So you need some water. So that's usually people will use it with a carrier oil and all that. Like coconut oil or something like that, olive oil and all that. And then can use it to smear out or whatever. Oh, what's that? Why's that feeling like that? On the back is feeling a little weird. That was weird. I felt a little weird. Anyway. But yeah, it could be interesting to actually see if one caught it in the beginning and just smear out some oregano oil. Now it will hurt. Oregano oil, as I said, is a very, very, very powerful oil, and it will hurt. But if it can stop the progress in regards of at least the outside progress, and of course some of the things will also be taken in by the skin and all that, but yeah, it's worth a try. Sadly, I only tried it on the front, and I already had the things, but it seemed like it did seem to stop and then, but I'm not sure, but it's worth a try if anyone gets things. Just have a good oregano oil and just smear it on, see what happens. Although just know that check if your body actually beforehand just know if your body can actually handle oregano oil beforehand, so you don't end up with any issues. That's interesting. It's on my back. It's kind of making some weird moves apparently. Okay. So adults more likely to get complications from chickenpox. It says chickenpox can be a serious illness for adults, especially if they have a weak immune system. Adults can get chickenpox, can not only get quite sick from the virus, but can develop other health problems that can be serious. But that can happen as well with the second grade, in regards to Hellfire. Adults are more likely than kids to end up hospitalized if they get chickenpox. But again, as some sources say that it's not really that bad of a deal in regards to chickenpox, and either if you get it as a child or a grown up. So again, conflicting information. Possible complications of chickenpox in adults include infection from again, if we have the motherhood of the old days, like that had some sanity, before listening to all these bullshitters in regards to the medical mafia. They might just have known by default what things are and what should be done and how dangerous it is and all that. But then you get the women on the, you ruin the women, and you're now putting them out in the working market and wanting to become men while hating men, and the whole society is just ruined. That's interesting. Still have some some things happening on my back clearly, and it's interesting. Yeah, I guess it's take it as an experience. I guess there's just so much pain in this life, that's for sure. You can endure, you can get a lot of pain before you die. Apparently, that's been a hugely, very, very painful life since my. But anyway, I guess that's a thing in living in a fallen world, and satanic bullshitters all around that is not really helpful in regards of we should be educated, right? Long education to help us the people, while actually being complete bullshitters for the most part. You really have to be careful before they kill you. You know, they might murder you. They already murdered a huge amount of people in regards of all this snake oil, which of course you can't. You know, I probably, you know, this video probably will be flagged and removed. You know, maybe that's I would think actually. Actually, the YouTube just, you know, one of the videos I made, they were talking about misinformation and blah 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 blah, and then they just put me in you know, one of these. So I guess this probably could be flagged as well, because this world is sick and YouTube, Google is evil, evil, evil. Apparently, some say that Google had this this phrase in the past of "don't be evil," or maybe it was Android. Was it Android or Google? But of course, Android is run by Google. So I'm not. Maybe it was Android, or maybe it was, I can't remember. But in regards of quotation of "don't be evil," apparently, yeah. Well, they are clearly evil. That's for sure. Possible complications of chickenpox in adults include, and of course YouTube is now owned by Google, and just totally wrecked the platform. Advertising and other nonsense and the money concept and all that just ruined it. It was just the very beginning of ruining everything in regards of making everything more mainstream. So possible complications of chickenpox in adults include infections from the rash, as to say skin and bone, lung infections, pneumonia, blood infection, sepsis, inflammation, as to say brain, liver, joints. Pregnant people who get chickenpox are at higher risk for complications themselves, but can also pass the risk to the fetus. Now give me a break with the bullshit words of fetus. For the child, you know, you're going to call the... That's also one of the interesting things with women, right? If the woman don't want the child, it's just, you know, a clump of cell. It's just a fetus, right? If the woman want the child, it's a child. Wow. So she decides if it's just, you know, this or that. You don't give me a break. Women are full of bullshit, you know. It's a living being, and if you stop the progress of this child, you are a first-degree murderer. Oh yeah. And if you push abortion, you are a murderer by heart. A serious but rare complication of chickenpox in pregnant people is again fetal, you know. Congenital varicose syndrome, I don't know what, but again they use the fetal thing, but I guess it's just full of bullshitters in regards of using wrong words. Adults who get severe chickenpox complications, especially pneumonia, you know, in regards of lung disease, I guess, can die. You know, this is one of these bullshit words that they use, right? Why not just tell, you know, instead of using these big words, pneumonia or whatever, can die from the illness, especially if you have weak immune systems. And of course the medical mafia will more than be helpful to make your immune system weak, you know. And the rest of this wicked world of different kinds of food choices and all that, just according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the fertility rate from chickenpox is about 21%. The fertility rate from chickenpox is about 21 per 100,000 cases in adults. Yeah, okay, so a very small, minor, and they might succumb to it, I guess, because of other complications. So it doesn't seem to be that, you know, it's like 100,000 cases. That's how much is that? I don't know. See, that would be 21%. That would be 2.1%, 0.0, so 0.0021%, as far as I can see, in regards of the fertility rate, as far as I can gather, right? Because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros, right? So you put right? 21, yeah. So it's 0.0021, I think. I'm not sure. I just of course, let's say if you had 100, right? You had 21, right? You have 21 and 100, that would be 21%, right? And then you have the comma and the comma and the comma, right? So you push it 1, 2, 3, right? So that would be, so you had 1, 2, 3. Maybe it's 0.021 or yes, yeah, okay. 21%, right? And then you divide it by 1,000, I think. Yeah, that's 0.021%. It's like, you're kidding me. And they probably have other issues in regards. So that doesn't really, in regards of death, in regards of it, doesn't seem to be that. Anyway, like most children who get chickenpox will be naturally immune and do not need a chickenpox vaccine. Oh, natural immune, and yet they can still get shingles, right? But they're immune, but they can still get shingles. And that, well, actually, they can now get shingles, right? After they've gotten the chickenpox, but they are immune. Now you gotta be kidding me. Now, they might not be able to get the first grade and all that, but they might be, might explode in regards to the shingles. Okay. The Center of Disease Control and Prevention, in regards to the CDC, states that immunity following varicella infection is considered to be long-lasting, and second cases of varicella are considered rare, but that second cases might be more common among immunocompetent persons, than previously considered. No. Okay, among immunocompetent, but that second case might be more common among immunocompetent, I guess, still having an immune system that, not opposite compromised, persons than previously considered. Oh. Oh, wait, here they actually... Today, most kids get the chickenpox vaccine. So first and second cases of chickenpox are not very common. Did they call it second cases in regards of shingles being a second case of chickenpox? Is that what they just called it? Did they actually just call it, a second case, of chickenpox in regards of shingles? Again, it should be called grade 1, grade 2. Chickenpox grade 1, chickenpox grade 2. Don't bullshit around with having two different sicknesses and all that. Or maybe they talk about second cases of chickenpox in regards of having it another time. Of course, they go into what can be mistaken for chickenpox. A common reason for a child to have a second bout of chickenpox is that the first case was misdiagnosed. Oh, so it wasn't really chickenpox. The first grade, Anyway. It is also possible that a second chickenpox infection was misdiagnosed and is actually another infection of skin problems. So again, it's not really a second, it's just a misdiagnosis of something else. Here we go with the shingles again. Well, they say before that there are a few conditions that can be mistaken for chickenpox in kids and adults. Anyway, shingles. Shingles later in life, some people who have had chickenpox will get shingles, a condition that happens when the chickenpox virus gets reactivated. But it's not chickenpox anymore, apparently, right? It's just the chickenpox virus that gets reactivated in the body, but it's not chickenpox anymore. It's just shingles now. The shingle rash is usually a band on just one side of the body. It's usually very painful. Yeah, I can subscribe to that. A shingles vaccine is available to people age 50. Yeah, they always, Then we have herpes. Herpes is caused by viruses. It's often transmitted through sex, and of course, in regards of sexual diseases, it's one of the reasons why you shouldn't go around and have a damage count that is just way above 0. Yeah, as a woman, you should have a body count of 0 when you marry your husband. 0, 0, 0. The wedding dress is white. White as in pure. That's what a woman should be at the marriage. So that's the standard thing. A woman should keep herself pure until marriage. So anyway, herpes is caused by viruses. It's often transmitted through sex. Herpes can show up as sores in the mouth or in the genitals, depending on the type of infection. The first herpes outbreak a person has is often the worst and can come along with the flu-like symptoms. Did you get that? Because I've actually thought about that. Like this chickenpox, right? Is the worst. Well, it's in regards of bodily, it's all over the body the first time, right? But then it goes into this thing where it's more local, right? So I was thinking about in regards of herpes as well, and these where they get these sores around the mouth and all that. If actually it might actually be worse the first time compared to the So the virus just fixes it the first time, and then it gets into this second grade. But they still call it herpes, right? Herpes is caused by viruses. It's often transmitted through sex. Herpes can show up as sores in the mouth or on the genitals. I think also on the lips, right? In regards of, so when you see people having sores around and all that, you just want to keep far away from kissing them. Anyway, herpes can show up as sores in the mouth or on the genitals, depending on the type of infection. The first herpes outbreak a person has is often the worst and can come along with flu-like symptoms. Oh, but it's still herpes, right? So the second time and the third time and the fourth time and all, it's still herpes, right? But they might not be as serious as the first time, right? Oh, well, not as, but they're still herpes, right? So why are you calling, why are they calling, this other thing, two different things, and just, Anyway, I'll just search on herpes in regards to the mouth herpes, in regards mouth sores or something like that. Let's see how that looks. Cold sores and small blisters that develops on the lips or around the mouth. They're caused by the herpes simplex virus and usually clear up without treatment within 7 to 10 days. You may not have any symptoms when you first become infected with the herpes simplex virus, and apparently it can Okay. In oral herpes, most blisters appear on the lips or mouth. They can also form elsewhere on the face, especially around the chin and below the nose or on the tongue. At first, the sores look similar to small bumps or pimples before developing into pus-filled blisters. These may be red, yellow, or white. Again, the thing is, if women goes around and kissing all these many men and do whatever down below as well, and and they might be infected with, and the problem of course is that the women, they're just putting all this makeup on, and it's like disgusting. So I guess they can hide some of that as well. They can hide a lot of other things with makeup, paint, So why not also in regards of these blisters and all that? Here we have a cold sores, yeah. Actually, it's interesting. They look a little like the thing that I also have, but I guess this is also a herpes virus. they say, in regards of the what was it called? I can't really remember. But yeah, the shingles, or whatever the other thing, I can't remember. But as I understand it, that's also like a herpes virus, you know. So I guess it could be a little like the same look-alike. It seems like the sores, some of them at least, could look a little like the, you know, cold sores or official herpes. Could look a little like the things that I also have in regards of, you know, some of them that could look a little. Some of them doesn't really look like it, but some does. And they have these herpes. Here we go with the bubbling canker sore or versus cold sores. Apparently that's some kind of. No, anyway, it doesn't look too good. Here we go with the bubbling, different type of lesions. Anyway. So the thing is, if that can, you know, explode, if you can actually get like herpes in regards to the mouth and all that, if the first time is worse than the other time, so the first time you get this herpes thing, it can be, you know, apparently it might be worse than the second, third, and fourth, and fifth time. Why is this that it's just local not considered the same sickness as, you know, chickenpox? Why is it not considered chickenpox when it's the same virus? And it's, yeah, well, anyway, if the oral herpes is more fierce the first time than the other times, and here you have, you know, where this is only local compared to all over the body, you know, it's more local of a specifically place and all that. Why is that not considered the same sickness? You know, the same virus and all that. Just give me a break with the bullshit. I really wonder if they sold the mothers this idea that, hey, if your child have chickenpox, they can't get it anymore, and then not telling them that they can get shingles, which is the chickenpox virus blooming out. Anyway. Again, if I could, I wouldn't let my, you know, why make your children affected by this? Why not just, you know, try to keep them away from it? Why purposely make them sick? Like, if they can go through life, I think in Denmark it was saying that 5% of people never had chickenpox, which means they don't have the chance of getting shingles, because shingles is chickenpox version 2, you know, grade 2. So why not try to just keep your children away from it? If they get it, right? But why try to, you know, a pox party, let's have a pox party, right? And purposely, you know, infect our children with this nonsense. I just, you know, it's just bullshit. It's probably the women that came together with that bullshit, you know. Herpes is called, you know, by, you know, being told by the medical mafia or something like that, some kind of bullshit as usual. Herpes is caused by viruses. It's often transmitted through sex. Herpes can show up as sores in the mouth or on the genitals, depending on the type of infection. The type herpes outbreak a person has is often the worst, and it can come along with the flu-like symptoms. Yeah, okay. So what is chickenpox? Well, it might be a little more, you know, going all throughout the whole body the first time, and the second time it's more local. Still the same thing, you know, still the same virus. It's not two different sicknesses, it's the same in different stages. So anyway, that was a little, here we have a summary. Yeah, whatever. That was one web page. It took a long time to get through that. And we have an article, what shingles looks like. I don't really need to know more about that. You know, it's, yeah. the pictures are pretty much the same as I have, and it's pretty much the same spot. We have one. It's a little worse than what I have. Well, it seems a little, it seems more affected up here. And I probably, again, I think I stopped the front here with, with the oregano, but I'm not sure. But it would be interesting to, if I ever got it again and I had enough oregano, I would just smear the whole thing with oregano oil and see what happens. Now, it won't stop the inside from doing damage inside, but it might stop the progress of fixing the contagious thing in regards of blocking it and destroying it, and in regards to that. But this guy has a little more of it on the breast, and the bubbles are going a little more. He has a little, but it goes still through the armpit here, and goes up on the front here. And it then stops right here, or right here on his picture. But it goes, it goes up here and goes down here, and of course mine just goes here and then underneath here and goes around. Oh my! But it really doesn't look so bad on the breast, So I fixed the apple vinegar on my back as well 2 times, and tried to smear it on the. And I used some of the other tea tree oil. That was the tea tree oil. I smeared the tea tree oil on the side here, and then oregano on the front. And I think really, if anything did something, it was the oregano oil. And that was also the thing that I would have thought would do if anything, it would be the oregano oil. And because it doesn't, it looks actually not too bad, It actually, it looks like it has like. And this was the last, it was coming from the side, and so I think I might have stopped it with the oregano oil in regards of progressing. So sadly, I just don't have enough. I don't have more oregano oil, so I could just smear the whole thing again, from this to the back and all that would be nice to just smear. I know it hurts, in regards to oregano oil, but that's it's painful anyway, right? So whatever. So over the course of the next 48 hours, the blisters will start to turn cloudy and increase in numbers and size. Many will converge into larger blisters and or rupture, leaving behind a raw, indented, oozing ulcer. At this stage, the pain can be extreme, making movement or even the lightest touch excruciating. Oh yeah, there's also a point where I just wanted to, rip it out, and I took something, and so I could get back there, and I began to, that was not good. That was painful. That made it just so much more painful. Anyway, at this stage, the pain can be extreme, making movement or even the lightest touch excruciating. Yeah, it's an interesting way when you move. It's just, oh. Ooh, ee! So once a herpes blister, but I don't, there's these brown spots in some of them. I'm not sure if it seems like they are the, because when I did this oregano oil, it seems like it moved directly to where there was these brown crust inside of them. So again, I think the oregano oil might be a way to go, but I don't know if I ever get in the future and begin to have this back pain, and I see it in the beginning. I will take, if I have oregano oil, I will just smear it on there. I will just take huge amount of oregano oil, undiluted, and just smear it on. And yeah, it's painful, I know, but if it can stop it, it would be very interesting. Oh yeah. Oh. Once a herpes blister ruptures, the secreted fluid will crystallize and form a honey-colored crust. Oh, okay, that's Okay. Escape will form underneath. Oh, okay. So apparently those that forms this outer thing. Okay, that's the stage after it pops, and then escape will form underneath a small. You have these small brown spots. That must be the escape. And that's the thing in regards of this. But you can see these brown spots in regards of, well, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some brown, very small brown spots. That's probably not easy to see, but there's these small brown spot, and it seems to, after I put the oregano oil on, it seems to have stopped the, it's still there, right? But it seems like it might have stopped the progress of it, because it never got to a stage, it seems, on the front as it did on the side and the back. It seemed to just have stopped it with the oregano oil, and then just gone to the stage of scaping, or what is called scaping. So and as I understand, the oregano oil should also be antivirus. So, and it's a pretty heavy oil. It's one of those oils that you use for different things in regards to sickness and all that. It is one of my favorite oils as well. And sadly, I just didn't have more than I had. I just had, this little bottle, nearly empty, and I should really have ordered more. But I am getting emptied on the different oils and all that. I'm just, waiting a little to make a full order for more oils. But yeah. Once a herpes blister ruptures, the secreted fluid will crystallize and form a honey-colored crust. Escape will form underneath, stemming the oozing fluid and allowing the ulcer to heal. The healing of the sore and shedding of the scape takes a week to 10 days. So the healing of the sore and shedding of the scape takes a week to 10 days. Healing of the sore and shedding of the scape. So is the scape and the sore the same thing, or? A lesion is no longer considered contagious 72 to 96 hours after escape has natural fallen off. Let's see here. Here we go with here we see the brown spots of some of them. You can see, but are they like? Is that the scapes they're talking about? I can see these small. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of these small on this picture. You can see the small scapes that I can also see on and I wonder, that must be the scapes, like very small brown spots, like I guess like scape. But let's see, scape and sore. They look like they are sores, but what is this difference between scape and sores? Scape and sores. I'm not sure if there's scape and sores in the scalp can be itchy and unpleasant, but what is the difference? Is it the same thing, scape and sores? That's a good question. I don't know. Might be the same. I don't know. Anyway, so a lesion is no longer considered contagious 72 to 96 hours after escape has naturally fallen away. So I guess I need to wait for the brown things or something like that to totally. But again, I've seen different informations on that as well, as they say they say that after the the white thing, when it's soft and all that, when that goes away, it's not contagious anymore. So after everything has escaped, so again, different informations here. But even as the sores begins to heal, new clusters of blisters can continue to form. Yeah, but you see, on the back it was further progressing. So you had pretty much all the whole thing of moving, where you had this and that and all. So you had the whole And it has progressed from the back and continued to the and ended up in my breast and probably down in the stomach, but yet I don't have anything coming forward in regards to the stomach, but I can feel like the stomach is. But even as sores begins to heal, new clusters or blisters can continue to form. Depending on the severity of an outbreak, shingles can 3 to 5 weeks to progress through all of its stages. So shingles can 3 to 5 weeks to progress through all of its stages. Yeah, all of it. Yeah. So 3 to 5 weeks. Well, we have a couple of weeks. I've only gone through the first week, so I have more. Now, usually I've seen like 3 weeks, but apparently they say 3 to 5 weeks. So, that's. But yeah, I should get some. Maybe it's too late for more oregano oil, even if I got it. But the problem is, of course, if I, again, some sources says that I'm a factory in regards of viruses, airborne viruses. This other article seems to say otherwise, but I don't know. I know where I can get some oregano oil, but it's a place where there's a lot of people, and if I went there, I might, who knows if I might actually make other people sick, and with this nonsense, and that would be terrible. Oh, it's sticking a little at the moment. Here's a Danish thing. And here, the Danish article seems to be less, fear-mongering compared to some of the English sites that I've seen, where it says that it's not dangerous or life-threatening or anything like that, for the most part. They talk about the pus and all that, and that would be filled with, these small bags of pus would be filled with, as I understand it, white blood cells that apparently is combating the thing, as I understand it. But yeah, a lot of things that I don't know. They talk about pain in the skin that can be feeling deep. Well, actually, I think it's the other way around. You feel it from the inside. It is deep, right? The pain is deep. I thought it was my back and my muscles that was in regards to the pain. So it feels more like that. Even if you can feel things on the skin when it blooms out and all that, it feels like more it's coming from the inside, which I guess it does, and it's also making havoc inside, as I understand it, inside the body. So again, the outer surface is only the outer surface that you can see. It's just the blooming of it on the skin. It says that 98% of the Danish people, apparently I've seen 95% so again, different information here. 98% of the Danish people have had, the first stage of, what was it called? I can't even remember. My brain is just, in Danish it's called skuldkopper. Chickenpox. There we go. Chickenpox. So chickenpox, skuldkopper. And thereby, 98% of the Danish people have had it, and thereby they carry the virus that can reactivate as the Hellfire, or Shingles. In Danish it's called Hellfire. And thereby it hits, Hellfire hits 1 out of 4 Danish people, and the risk to have this happen is heightening in regards to the age. and sickness and weakened immune system can also heighten the risk. Oh my. Yeah, I don't have so much pain in the front breast. It's very, it's still very, what do you call it? It's not, it's, what do you call it? It's very, but it doesn't hurt on the same way as in the back. The back is really the worst kind of pain. The front is what's it called? It's in Danish it's called ømt. Let's see, ømt in English. Ømt in English. It's soft to the touch. This, it's sore. I think it's sore. It's sore. It's sore. It's sensitive. Oh yeah, very sensitive to the touch. Painful touch. It's not as bad as the back. So if I had more of this oregano oil, I would just take it and just see if I could swipe it to the, just give it a good, oregano thing, and put it also on the side here. It's easier to give me to the side here because I can reach at least some of the side here. So, but it was easier with the front, of course. I guess if you had someone around, you could have them help in regards to the oregano oil. Just take the oregano oil and smear it out, at the places. And maybe it would be, even if it just began, and you probably know that it's probably going to move in regards to the nerve around, and then it might be a good idea to just smear it out on the breast and the side and all that. Who knows, and but it is a strong oil, so just be aware that, just know that you're not, having any issues in regards to oregano, because you don't want more issues. And if you are further afraid of the full strength of the oregano oil, you can dilute it. Even if you dilute it, it should be better than nothing if it's actually working. So just dilute it a little with some kind of oil, and just use it, some carrying oil, and see what happens. It might help stop it, at least it seemed to do something here. So I did give it a couple of times with oregano oil as well. So, but I don't, the apple vinegar didn't really seem to, maybe it did something, but, and the tea tree oil didn't really seem, the oregano oil seemed to be the one that really, and that was also the one that I thought, if anything, should work. So, but anyway, it's further, I can't really further test it really, because I'm already at that point where I pretty much is, it's nearly, I guess, nearly done. I don't know, it's probably done what it wanted to do pretty much, and so, but yeah, if I had some, I would absolutely give it a go. So it talks about that we'll make these small sores, which I think are these brown spots, these very small sores and all that. So when the sore scalps are falling off, they can leave light or dark plumage. I'm not sure what the plumage under the skin. These different colors can, I guess, if you're a dark person, it might be, I don't know. But anyway, I guess it can be. It depends also on your skin color, maybe. But they talk about that. Well, these different colors will probably go away by the time. And here we talk about that it, something exploding in regards of Hellfire will usually be around 3 weeks, but some will continue to feel the pains for months and even years afterwards. After that the of a show is gone. And of course, you have the risk of getting it again, right? Oh yeah. Of course, the younger you are, the less chance there is to get these nerve pains and all that. Apparently, these afterwards, but we'll see. Uh, Oh, that's different. They talk about invalidating, what is it called in English? Something that is very deep in regards of the pains and all that. That can be very, very, very. What is it called? It talks about that some can't handle themselves because of the pains that sits deep in the body, that can be making it hard to handle things on your own hand. Yeah, whatever. But it is terrible. It is absolutely terrible. And it probably can be worse if you're older. But yeah, it's not fun. At least it's not in the region of the face. But, that can always come, I guess, You can actually get it at the face region and all that. And that will be of course, a lot worse because it apparently can affect the eye vision and all that. So I don't get this, No pox parties, okay? No pox parties for your children. That seems to be a very stupid idea. Yeah. But again, a little different kind of informations. And sorry, I've been spoken too long, so my nose is kind of blocking behind. That tends to happen when I speak too much. When you don't get a break, so it can remove the mucus behind the nose. So it blocks up. If I don't speak for a couple of minutes, then it will go away. So maybe I should just, be right back. Stop speaking for a couple of minutes and I'll be back. some of the mucus gone. So that's okay. So I just looked a little in regard to the back and all that, and as far as I can see, I wonder these, for example, the top here. I wonder if it actually stopped the progress before it actually, because there's still, you have the spots, but you don't have anything, and on the back, I'm not sure if some of them are in this in seemingly in like these spots, but they haven't really progressed as far as maybe some of them. Like over here, you can see they have like you can see the saw on these. Well, maybe it's a little hard to but there's like these brown spots in these. But up here, that's not like, it just seems like red spots, but there's not really any. So I can see on the back, there's a specific place in the back where there's a lot of saws and all that. And then I remember one of the other places where you had all these white things covered. You had a cluster where it had all these white things. This, which must be from the explosion. Oh my god! So I guess the white blood cells or something like that. And then that has been removed, and now there's just these brown spots, which might be the saw. So I guess the ones that already had jumped to the level of brown spots must have been those that have been furthest, the oldest of them, and then you had this other stage where it had just fixed over, and after that had gone, it's now brown spots, which might be the source. I do wonder in regards to this front, like it doesn't really seem like, it seems like this might have been stopped before it actually got to this stage of, we'll see, or maybe it's going to bloom out, I don't know. But after fixing the oregano oil, it did seem to make things look a little better. Now it still has some redness and all that, but it began with like these reddish things, just having like, it was just red. There wasn't any pops or anything like that. It was just, like natural, but this was reddish, just red spots and all that. And then the next day afterwards, you began to see these, but yeah, I wonder how far it actually is in regards to things. But yeah, it would still be nice to just give it a good amount of oregano oil, just on the whole thing, just to make it, just to make the oregano oil just get in there and whatever degree it is, just get in there and attack anything bad, pretty much. Would be nice. That would be nice too. But anyway, yeah. I guess I might know it if a next time is going to happen. And if I have it, I don't know why I didn't order some. Yeah, again, yeah. Well, I waited for for using a lot of other essential oils and all that. But really, oregano, you can use it for a lot of things. You want the whole powerful thing. There's a lot of oregano oils where you can buy oregano oil, but it's fixed with, a carrying oil. And if you want some kind of carrying oil, you can just fix some oil yourself and mix it together. You want the 100% essential oil that is powerful. Oh yeah. And I just want to take something and just. I know that's going to hurt a lot of my. Oh my. Just it's really annoying. So the next stage, apparently after the sauce and all that, will be that they fall off, and there might be some some different kind of, you might be able to see some small white or small black compared to the rest of the skin when they fall off and have healed the skin apparently. So probably that will be lighter color than I have already, but we'll see. Well, I'll see, I guess. Yeah. But I might have, who knows if I actually have stopped this progress on some of the things. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it just will continue to bloom a little more, but it seems like this place in the breast has, like here, that it just stopped it, and again, it looks better than it. It's like when I put the oregano oil in and let it seems like to just jump to some of them just jump to the stage of the soul, the soul stage, So if you, I wonder if you just kill it, if you just kill it with the oregano oil, if that's the case, I guess it would jump maybe to the soul stage immediately, because it would, if the virus is dead, the body would be able to, get in there, make the soul and all that. So, so that, who knows? I don't know. Well, I don't know. I still think it would be a try out if to have at hand if anyone catches it at the beginning and see if it actually could maybe totally stop it, or just give it a good amount of these places so the oregano will also into the skin and all that. And just if okay, this is probably going to go this direction, usually it follows. If you have it on one side, it will probably it will follow apparently the nerve thing apparently they talk about. So if you look at the images, you can see which direction it want to go out. If you just take the oregano oil, I would think from the back and just move it all, give it all over to the breast. Now that's a good amount, so you might get a reaction from doing so much oregano oil, so just be careful. It is a heavy oil, but I do wonder if that could actually maybe stop the spread. I don't know, because I did it too late and I have too little of it. I guess I know in the future, in regards to some of the signs that I need to look for. The problem is I usually have some pain in my back here and there, and that was what I thought it was. So it's kind of, if I didn't if I didn't have the pain in my back, of course it would be a lot easier to feel, I have pain in because it just felt like back pain, very intense back pain. It just felt like back pain. I thought it was back pain, from my back having been used too much or something like that, even if I didn't think I used it that much. But yeah. So, people 60 to 65 years old that have had this, 20% of them apparently can have pain, nerve pain, and 35% of them that has had it over 80%. 35% of those that are over 80 years will have these nerve pains. We'll see how mine goes. And it's individual from person to person how the pains are in regards of Hellfire. Hellfire pain can be, apparently according to this, very individual from person to person. Some will have intense pain that sits deep in the body. Yeah, but it doesn't really. Yeah, okay. So. Anyway, I wonder if they have. I know there's a place where I really shouldn't go out. I know there's a place where I can get oregano oil. I don't know if they have open. They're probably closed now. And I really don't know if I should go outside. I don't really have anyone to really able to, call up and all that. So don't have that many people that I know. Overall, kind of, when you get, pain early on in your life, you kind of pull inside yourself. And of course, becoming Christian doesn't help on things, and standing for the truth doesn't help on things either. And anyway, so let's see here. Let's see if they have. What's it called? What's it called? The natural shop or something like that. Natural shop. I can't remember. It's not called natural shop. It's called something. I can't remember. Fields. What is it called? What is it called? Like alternative. Yeah. Alternative health shop or something like that, because we call it alternative while it actually should be the primary thing, right? Okay. I usually is a shop, this place where you have. I can't remember if it's called. Maybe it's called Hellfire or something like that. Yeah. Oh, Hellsum. Oh, okay, I think I found. Oh yeah, there we go. It's called Hellsum. Hellsum. Apparently, okay. I don't know what's. Let's see. Yeah, it's closed. It's opening from 10 o'clock tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, but it's not good, because again, I might risk, making someone else sick if I go outside. So it's kind of not so good. Well, no, I'm not sure if they. Let's see, Monday, 10 o'clock to 20. Yeah, I don't know. But it would be nice to get some more oregano oil and just smear the whole thing with it, and just to, at least, if it works or not, at least to just, get it done and take it from there. I don't think it can hurt. At least it will just kill a lot of the baddies on the skin and all that. So. Whatever the case, it should just be helpful overall. Although I do have some other essential oils, but I don't know. Whatever the case, I guess we are, pretty far into this, and I guess we are getting to, the last stages at least on a good amount of it. Although there are some other places where I'm thinking, has it stopped, or is some of these areas going to bloom out, or what is it, what is going on? Is this still, going to continue to, that's a good question. But some of them are clearly done in regards to having source on them, so that's nice to see at least. But some of the bumps doesn't seem to have any sores on them. It's just small, like up here. It doesn't really seem like. So the question is, are they not going to come forward, or are they dead, or whatnot? I don't know. That seems to be the same thing on the back. There are some of these areas where you have a little bump, but they don't seem to. I don't know. We'll see. Oh. So. Do parents or children with chickenpox needs to isolate? If you have chickenpox, stay off work and at home until you're no longer infectious. If either you or your child has chickenpox, it is also a good idea for you or them to avoid contact with pregnant women. So I probably should isolate until. I do have the other thing that I could try out for. But that's primarily for fungus, but of course it has some other things as well. I could smear it on just to see what happens, or whatever. It couldn't hurt, at least. And it smells pretty good, so I should see if I can find a bottle of that. Yeah. This is a great formula. In regards of this is healing homeopathic remedy. It's pretty expensive, but it's good. They sell it in different. You would think that the website would be like a. When you look at the website, you would think, oh, they seem to be, fakes or something like that. But they're actually they're not fakes. It's actually a pretty good product, But they're selling the same product for different things, and that's kind of weird, but well, anyway. Anyway, let's give this, let's give the breast a little. Whatever the case, I'll get some good smell. It's pretty good smelly, But it's mostly for fungus, or, well, I guess they sell it for different things, so. Yeah. It's a wonderful product. So can't remember where you can get it, but that's a good problem. This is one as well. It's called homeopathicremedyfinder.com. This is how it looks. That's really hard to see, I guess. It's called homeopathic remedy finder.com. You can only get 3 at a time, although they will send it. They don't. They don't take payment for sending it, but they only allow 3 because apparently, in regards of making it apparently takes some to make things and all that. It smells wonderful. It's made for fungal infections, for example. That's what I primarily use it for, but. It smells wonderful as well, so you can use it for all kinds of things. So let's just smear some things on my breast here. Can't hurt. It's very it's made for being made under the belt, so it can also be used pretty much everywhere else because if it can be used down there, it can be used pretty much every other place. It's wonderful just to give the downstairs, a little of that, after having been out swimming or something like that, or bathing or whatever. It gives a good smell, It's, and yeah. Although dogs kind of like the smell as well and are very interested in regards to the smell, so that's kind of an issue if you meet dogs. Although dogs might smell you downstairs, they might, they sniff around, as usual. But it will make dogs kind of, yeah. But it is very good smelling, So, and you can also use it like a deodorant, pretty much, while being antifungal, So, anyway, well. We gave it a little on the front, it can't hurt, and I can get a little of the smell. So for that, I get these here and there, 3 bottles. Sadly, only 3 bottles at a time, but I put one in my bag, one on the toilet, and one in the living room usually. And it's great. Although I think I'm emptying down on that as well, so I need to sort that out. It takes a little time to get it as well, so it's nice to have. Oh my. Well, guess I don't have much more to speak about in regards to chickenpox. I have a lot of information here and there in regards of it, but yeah, in regards of a lot of taps and all that. I have some Hebrew music. Arim Roshi also talks about that aloe vera might be a good thing in regards of I think I might have some aloe vera cream out of my toilet, or whatever you want to call it. After a little while, the scalps will be scalps in the when the bladders are breaking and all that. The scalps looks like skull cover. That's in regards of looks like the the chickenpox. So the scalps looks like chickenpox. Oh really? Maybe it's because it is. Anyway, after 2 to 3 weeks, the scalps will fall off. In that connection, there will be pigment difference on the skin in form of lighter or darker spots. There can also be a light fever and the lymph node can be grown lymph node so there can be greater lymph node in regards of an outbreak, and with some people there can be strong pain going inside the body and not only in the skin. Well, pretty much it's, as far as I felt, it was like inside the skin. It started like inside, you didn't feel it, it felt like it was the muscles or the back, my and then it just, so it says Hellfire is usually following a nerve way and sees as a band or belt over the skin, and it typically only on one side. So it will either be on the right side or the left side of the body or the face. It is very often the face or the breast and the stomach and the limb that will be attacked. In regards to the stomach, I don't have anything. I did have a little under the breast. I had this reddish thing, and I put oregano oil on that. That was, there's just very light fainted redness, and I can feel the stomach as well. In regards, it doesn't feel so good on the left side, but I just put the oregano oil down on that as well, and it's not red anymore. So I wonder if I actually stopped it with the oregano oil. I think I might have, I don't know, but so I think oregano oil might have been a way maybe to actually stop the outbreak, to just, but anyway, that people will have to try it out. I don't know, I can't really verify anything. I would need to have more people with this kind of thing and then just smear it out on them and test it out, right? If you had, but it seems like it might be a way. And if you could find some other remedies that also for themselves was actually effective against this, you could mix them together to have a furthering improvement. Sometimes when you fix different essential oils, for example, together, they will work much more effective. For example, if you have different essential oils that is antifungal, well, the when you put them together, they will become much more effective against fungus because you have more things attacking the fungus, so it doesn't only have one thing or ingredient to protect itself. It will have multiple. So a fungus is a devious monster like the Jesuits, you know. So it's like the Jesuits are the cancer of the world, and cancer is just a fungal infection. So anyway, it's the Jesuits are the fungus of this world, and fungus is everywhere, and a huge health issue as well that they overlook on purpose because there's a lot of money in killing people and mistreating them and all that. So that's just okay. So, but I wonder if I actually just stopped this thing. But it was, you know, when I saw up here on my breast, the first time I saw it was that it was just red. You know, there was no bubbles on it or anything like that. It was just red. You know, just red skin. You know, like, you know. So I didn't really think. You know, when I first saw it, it was just redness. You know, it's like okay, you know, whatever. It, you know, I didn't really further look into it before it began to really. And then I had down here under the breast, I had something that was not as red, but I guess in the progress. And I smeared it with oregano oil, and there's nothing now. Now I don't know if that was, but why not? Why, you know, because it is, you know, I can feel it downward in the stomach here. It's really, it's a little ouchy, you know. It's clearly hit in regards of, but I don't have anything on the outside, at least on the, but you know, it, in regards of just underneath the breast, it was like reddish, you know. So maybe it was beginning to go in the progress, and I put the oregano oil on it, and now there's nothing. It just looks white, you know. So I think the oregano oil might actually stop the progress of this virus. So anyway, it's a worth a try if anyone is, you know, just have some, you know, powerful essential oils, and have someone maybe able to help you to smear it on the back. You know, if you can see that it goes on this side or whatever, just be careful. You know, don't do it on your head, or at least there's just, you know, I'm talking about back things and all that. This is a very heavy oil. If you do it on your face, you might you should be very careful in regards to that. Just know oregano oil hurts. You know, it hurts a lot. Now it's you know, some people can endure a lot of pain and all that, but it is hurtful. You know, so just be careful. But I don't know if it stops it, but it, you know, it seems like it did something. So, and in regards to the thing that I had underneath, although I can't be certain if that was actually, but it was like, you know, reddish. It was not as red as when I found the breast thing, but and if it has moved to the breast and maybe downwards, you know, it could have been something in regards to that. I don't know, but yeah, it's not there anymore. It was there for some time, but it's like, it's nice, you know. It's like there's nothing to see pretty much underneath my breast. You know, look at that, nothing. And it was, you know, it was kind of, yeah. So again, maybe the oregano oil just stopped it in the track. I don't know, but yeah. I really don't know. I could maybe search on oregano and this thing and see if anyone have this. You know, maybe someone already have figured something out or something. I'm feeling like a little hot in regards to my. I feel a little tired as well. Yeah, that's just actually not a bad thing, because then you can sleep a little away from the pain, and that's not bad to just get away from the pain. We could maybe, what was it called? I can't even remember in regards to calling. It was called something. I can't remember. I lost it. Well, it's called Hellfire, right? But what's it called? It's just too much on my brain. Hellfire, Smith, but something with an S. Yeah, oregano oil, or maybe, besides that, in regards to the oregano oil, while the oregano oil might be painful, right? You're already getting pain from this other thing, so, probably won't be the worst thing, in regards to pain, so. If you're alone, it will be a little hard to smear it on the back. I try to get my hand behind and all that. It's not easy to, you can do and try to. It's not easy, Try to take your the back. It would be a lot easier if you had someone to help you do it, and just drop some essential oils and just smear it out, or maybe with some gloves or plastic gloves or whatever, just smear it out, just get the place good fixed with oregano oil. So but here they talk about that it will often also be the one of the places stomach that will be attacked. So but it can also be shown, which is not that often, on the neck and the arms and the legs. The pains in connection with the popping, I guess, tops around after a week of time. Well, I think it was yesterday, maybe, I was very painful. I made a message to someone. I was just in total pain, and it was terrible. And now it has been a little over a week, so hopefully it has topped in regards to the pain. It's still pretty painful. Hereafter they will, lessen by most people. But after that, they can go weeks and months, and even years. There can be great pains. This is called post-herpetic neurology. So you can pretty much be damaged for a long time afterwards. It's terrible. And if you didn't get it the first time, you wouldn't get it the second time. So the second grade of this chickenpox. They talk about when the pains are not, disappearing, it is because there has been damage on the nerves. And in very serious instances, it can be continual and invalidating. I think it's called. Is it called invalidating? Not validating, but invalidating in regards of. It's not good. I'm not sure I'm using the right word in English. Invalidating. Let's see here in English. In English. Debilitating. Debilitating. So, in many or in some serious instances, it can be debilitating. The pains can be debilitating. But anyway, maybe I will only have it for a short time, hopefully. Here we have. Oh, this is tree oil that they have something. I'm not. No. Anyway. Well, they say at least the different articles says that the virus can be contagious with at least touch. But I've read other places that it produces that it produces airborne viruses when the things are. So I don't know. It just. And there we go with the same bullshit. But if you haven't, if you have Hellfire, you can't, you can't, you can't contaminate others with it, which is kind of, it's just bullshit. But you can give them the the other so-called sickness. It's just bullshit. And here it also says when there are scabs on the bladders, you can't further transmit anything. And again, that you have some variations in regards of that as well on the information. But it's a little hard to figure out when, and it's just like, how is it that we can have so many different, like it should kind of be the, why is it there so much information that conflict with each other? Some says, well, it will stop here, and then says others like, nearly 3 days after you can continue to. You gotta be kidding me. Is it either or not? It's just give me a break with the bullshit of different opinions or whatever. Give me the facts. It talks about, well, in regards of if you have, well, it's generally very, the virus is generally very contagious, and this is interesting why they say they use the first grade, right? The first grade virus, I can't remember what it's called, apparently my brain is not working. So the first grade version, in regards of it's generally very contagious. So if you have the second grade, sickness, you should not be, around pregnant that hasn't have this sickness yet. You should also not be around weak people that has a weakened immune system. Same reason it is a good idea to not be in swim holes. And it says, well, in regards to the swim holes, the chlorine kills bacteria but not virus. Although I'm not entirely sure if that's true actually, because in regards to the coronavirus, it was talked about that actually the chlorine actually kills virus. So I don't know about that. But anyway, although I'm not sure that the coronavirus actually was real. Now, of course, that you got sick and all that, but there might actually be another reason why you got sick in regards of snake oil things. But anyway. They love, the Satanists in this world believe that we're too many people, and thereby they believe they're doing a so-called good thing when they kill off people, because we have to save the world, right? And getting money at the same time. Oh, win-win situation, right? And some people will be willingly blind as long as they fill their pockets with blood money, They will just be willingly blind. It's just disgusting. That's how most, so many people work, So I could see if I could find. Oh, yeah, shingles. That was the word. Okay. Oregano oil stops shingles. Let's see if there's anything about that. Oregano. All of oregano. Again, in regards to a lot of the oregano oils out there, be careful, because a lot of the people out there Just get an essential oil, oregano, It will be powerful. And I had some natural oregano oil that was wonderful as well. And had huge amount of this thing that is said to be good and all that. But, just as long as you get some real oregano oil instead of all this, many of them put it together with olive oils, and you buy it and you think it's 100%, and yet it's not. How to use oregano oil for shingles? Let's see here. Topical application. Dilute the essential oil before applying it. You can do this by adding 2 drops of pure oil to a tablespoon of carrier oil, then apply this mixture directly to unbroken skin. Try applying the mixture with a spray bottle if your rash is painful to touch. So apparently they do have some kind of oregano thing, although I would just, in regards to carrying oil and all that, whatever, I would just put it directly on. But anyway, I know that it can be kind of, it's harsh and it can be painful in regards to the oregano oil, but if you already have pain, right, then, it might be a better pain than the pain that you are. Okay, let's see here with the oregano oil here. Apparently there are some that actually seems to oregano. Okay, oregano oil. It is thought that oregano oil can prevent a virus from replicating. While more studies need to be carried out to prove its effectiveness against the varicella zoster virus, which causes shingles, many patients already use it for symptom relief. I think it actually could stop the thing. Here we have different kinds of oils. Of essential oils for shingles. Essential oils are concentrated plant extracts. Research suggests they can have a therapeutic effect on people who suffer from pain. Remember that using essential oils for shingles may not be beneficial for everyone. They cause certain side effects, including allergic reactions. Well, again, before you do, in regards of essential oils, check things before you, buy the essential oils, try them out one by one and see if you get any allergic. Just try a little in the beginning. If you get an allergic reaction, you might, you probably shouldn't do it, But if you don't get any allergic reaction, there are some oils when I've used a lot of it that I can get a reaction from. I think oregano oil as well, But anyway, sometimes I just do too much, and I know sometimes I'm just like, let's just get it on, right? Let's give it a punch, That's just me. Sometimes I end up in kind of not so good situations because I do that, but I'm not like a minimum guy. Let's just go maximum. I tend to have that way of things, It's like at least for. Sometimes I'm getting kind of when they put a lot of propaganda and fear porn in regards to things. I had one essential oils that I haven't really further gone into, but I haven't, smaller amounts. I haven't seen any bad things going on and all that, but they have really. And they probably put a lot of propaganda out in regards to this essential oil because it's probably very effective, and they want to put a lot of, it's the same thing the medical mafia do so much to put so much fear porn against natural remedies while promoting their own bullshit. It's just disgusting. And that's also one of the reasons why you can see articles that just promote something as, wow, this is good, and then you have another article saying the exact opposite. It's just disgusting. Then you have to question who is speaking the truth and who is lying. The same thing when you look into PubMed and research papers. There are some research papers just they're faulty. So you have to still be, because they should get the same results, right? And if you have like all of a sudden you have someone saying, and then you have to have a look where this, who is these researchers, right? Are they Romanist? Is this from a Jesuitical institution? Because Jesuits are the special soldiers of the devil, and Roman Catholics are children of the devil. So you just have to be aware that there's bullshit out there where you have people working bad fruit. And anyway, we're turning off, and well, that was all for me. And take care, all of you. I guess it's time